Hey guys, an Athletic article inspired this video. Should shout out the Athletic. But Andrew Wiggins, if you guys saw in the first game, they ran once Draymond Green was ejected. Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was playing center. Klay Thompson was playing power forward. Jordan Poole was at small forward. Gary Payton the second was at shooting guard with Steph Curry at point guard. And in this game, they've been running for the playoffs. Our man Andrew Wiggins at the power forward position, and we've seen their super new small death ball lineup that Andrew Wiggins is a power forward, and this is a guy who's averaged 17 points for the year when he's got his first All-Star. But first off, I want to hear your thoughts down below if you guys agree with me on this video. Like and subscribe. Check out the Athletic article where I got this inspired. But you guys remember during when the whole pandemic shut down the season, and then he got traded, and there was all the muscle memes of him in the black tank top. And the crazy part is Wiggins looks like that muscle dude. He's banging in the paint and he's measuring up against huge big men and he's pursuing rebounds as if it was a dream, okay? And this is a mindset that Andrew Wiggins is displaying. Is a very strong mindset. You're doing all the dirty work. You're battling guys on a nightly basis. It's a lot of things that come with this type of hustle defensive play that Andrew Wiggins is doing because it will never show up in his stat sheet, okay? You have to take pride in this. You have to have a lot of appreciation of what you're doing. You have to be bringing it for your team because you want to win, and that's important. And he's doing the little things, all the things that pay dividends, the things that are a reason why the small balls lineups work for the Golden State, okay? And this is the latest stage of the Wiggins reclamation development project with the Golden State Warriors. In Minnesota, he was the professional, bucket getter, the primary creator on offense, averaging 19.7 points, basically 20 points in his 6 seasons with the Timberwolves a game. And with the Warriors, he's became a primary defender and a secondary or a tritary offensive option and a finisher who's only asked to score situationally, and that made him an even more efficient offensive weapon, especially from the three-point range, and that's why he became an all-star. But now that he wants to win and he's in a position to win pursuing a championship, he's playing the power forward position at 6'7", 197 pounds. And Wiggins is asked to play a position that is usually meant for bigger guys, and his tasks are a lot less glorious than they used to be. He's now tasked with doing the grimy chores of winning, the dirty work, the hustle, and he loves it, and you can tell it. It's a rare transition for a player to go from being the #1 scoring option to a defensive menace. Because, look, scoring's a hell of a job. It's dopamine. People love the score. Like, when I go to the rec and I start feeling it, like the other day, I was playing against some kids that I was arguably probably the second or maybe the third most athletic guy in the 4v4 we were playing, and that's not really good. So I was dominating. I was getting rebounds. Like they were saying, like, how did I keep getting rebounds? And I was driving with ease and scoring with ease. But that was just because I'm not necessarily super athletic, but I think I'm decent at basketball. I mean, I knew I could score on these kids, and I kept wanting to score. And that's what Andrew Wiggins is. How does he go from being this scorer? It takes a certain mindset to trade the glory of points for the dignity and the pride of dirty work, okay? He's the man in the arena, okay? And this is why the Warriors love Wiggins. The reputation for apathy he built as a scorer on a losing team has literally been a contradiction of what he's done for the Golden State Warriors as his dedication for winning. His acceptance of fewer shots and to play defense against the opposing team's best offensive players is literally, you could argue, contrary to his, it's the crazy part. It's contrary to what he was in Minnesota. And Harrison Barnes and Kevin Durant played a similar role for the Warriors. Barnes was listed at 6'8", 228 pounds when he was drafted in 2012 and had the beef team embrace the role. He added a few pounds of muscle over the year to better suit the role. But Kevin Durant, listed at 6'10" with 240 pounds, had the length to play the position. Wiggins is smaller than both of those guys. Like I said, 6'7", 197 pounds. He was considered a big shooting guard when he was drafted, a swingman. He could play the shooting guard or small forward position. As the NBA has trended smaller, he's now playing the power forward position for this team. And he's a great athlete who has the explosiveness, the agility, and the verticality, and the versatility to switch and play anybody. And he has the mindset to do it. And another thing that Wiggins faces is everybody has a small lineup. When Barnes was a small forward dropping down to power forward, the league wasn't ready for it. But now that every team usually has a player who has the quickness advantage to put up against him, the Warriors were always able to be ahead of the curve with Barnes and Durant. Now it's common for teams to have an easily swingable rotation where they can have a small forward, a power forward who can play, power forward center. And this has been because there's small guys who can get away doing big guys things and big guys who can go out on the perimeter with the wing. So Wiggins is competing against like-minded players, and often those with more experience playing the role he does. Look at PJ Tucker, and he's really just started playing this position, the power forward position, in postseason. It's not what you expect from a player who's making $31.6 million this year. But if the Warriors want to win a championship, they need Wiggins to star in this role that they need. Because in the first round, the Nuggets had Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, and JaMychal Green, all 6'8" and about 230, 235 pounds. The Grizzlies are using Brandon Clark, 6'8", 215 pounds, Xavier Tillman, 6'8", 245 pounds as power forwards. And when Steven Adams returned, Wiggins will probably find himself matched up against the 6'11", 242-pound Jaren Jackson Jr. And remember, this is Wiggins, the same guy who started out defending guards and wings, and Draymond Green, who was, the 230-pound, 6'6" center who could do it all. But the thing is Andrew Wiggins is a guy who comes from a father who's a former NBA player, and his mother's a former, Olympic track star. He has physical greatness in his genetics. He's stronger than he looks. He has a 7-foot wingspan with that 6'7" frame, okay? And he has the athletic ability to compete with any size disadvantage. And he has all the physical tools and traits needed there. And it's Wiggins who needs to activate them, and he's showing that he can. And he's really been a huge part of this postseason run. And I think he's buying into a lesser role than the one he held in Minnesota. But by him buying into this lesser role and understanding it, it comes with a greater chance of the Golden State Warriors winning a championship that they are pursuing. And it's unreal, their commitment that you're seeing from Andrew Wiggins. He's averaging, about 7 rebounds a game in the postseason compared to 4.5 during the regular season. And in the regular season, he shot 14 shots a game. So far in the postseason, he's only shooting 10 shots a game as Jordan Poole's getting more. And part of the new role, too, means less success. Okay? Like, Wiggins is simply better at defending on the perimeter than he's defending in the inside. But the job includes swallowing your pride and accepting that you're going to lose about 50% of your matchups. And the thing is, the Warriors don't need him to be dominant inside or be an elite defender inside. He just needs to hold the fort enough and long enough. So what the Warriors need from him is to give his maximum effort 110% of the time without, the shining results. Because during the regular season, Wiggins led the Warriors with an average of 14.1 field goals attempts defended a game, which means he defended 14 opposing team shots a game. And those opposing teams only shot 43.4% when being defended by him. And that's pretty good. And that's actually 3.5% lower than the league average. And his commitment on defense was rewarded with the metrics, as you saw. But this playoff, he's being credited with about 12.5 field goal attempts per game defended. And that's second to Draymond Green's 19.2 field goals defended per game. But the thing is, opponents are now shooting 53.5%, which is basically 10% more on Wiggins. So that unwavering commitment to, not having success, only having success for 50% of the time is very overlooked, but it takes a certain kind of moxie and character and, value to be able to do that. Wiggins is finding ways to get clutch offensive rebounds that carry just as much weight as, tallies in a stat sheet. He's getting love from the boys in the locker room every time he keeps a ball alive or gets his hand on a ball. Every rotation he makes, the defense keeps stringing along, and he's good for every contest against a shot. And it's just fun to watch. Let me hear your thoughts.